So Arsenal 0, PSG 1. Another semi-final. This manager has failed to set up a team to score a goal. That's now 6 semi-finals in all comps in a row that we haven't scored a goal. We're at home. We got stunned. Kind of fortunate goal. It came off his shin, his standing leg, kind of. However, we got a footballing lesson in that first half. They to a man were absolutely phenomenal. We looked starstruck. Yeah, our best attacking player, Mikel Merino, our most clinical. Actually, I'll rephrase that. Our most clinical attacking player was playing in midfield. Big cock up. Our captain played another cock up, another red flag. Urian Timber looked like he came off injured after being thrown back on for 12 minutes after having a word with the medical staff. That was our first sub on about 80 odd minutes. He's lucky he never got booked because he should have been booked twice and sent off. Saka got booked and then should have had a second yellow. Hakimi should have had a second yellow. And their goalkeeper made an unbelievable save when Declan drove through midfield, laid it on a plate, and Trossard, I think the Martinelli chance, I think he was offside, but obviously it never got that far. Maybe the Barcola chance would have been offside. I think one of their players is offside in the build-up. But, Kenny, I want to ask you a question, and make sure you follow Kenny Ken 1972. I'll share your Insta post, Kenny, as always. My chat was lighting up saying that all you could hear was the 2,500 PSG fans. Yeah. Did it feel like a Champions League semi-final to you? And what are your thoughts on the game? Because all my chat was saying was, yeah, this is shambolic. Yeah, all you can hear is the PSG fans, and it looks like we're scared. What did you make of it, mate? Front row seats and that.
Well, first and foremost, before the game, the atmosphere was absolutely electric. There was a lot of anticipation. Unfortunately, with Arsenal, when Arsenal fans don't expect to win, we put on a fantastic performance. The Real Madrid game was like it was our cup final. I was at the game, and there was no there's no fanfare about the semi-finals and air expectations like we expected to win the game because it was PSG. But in terms of the atmosphere, as soon as PSG scored, that was it. It became flat. And people need to stop criticising the fans. Everyone knows that if you go to a football match, you get the players lead the way. Their performances give the fans impetus in order to give the fans a lift so we can give you a lift. We can't give you a lift if you're not at it. And that was a situation for first and foremost, Kvaratskhelia, like I said, what he did was very intelligent. He didn't try to beat Tim, but what he did is he saw the space for Dembele. Unfortunately, Declan Rice was found wanting. And a senior play shouldn't be that. He shouldn't leave us do a skill by error like that. And Dembele didn't scuffed it, but that's the only way it was going to go. And if he hit it well, it could have gone. It could have hit one of our players, or it could have gone over the bar. Because he scuffed it, it took our player. It took Raya by surprise, and he went in there. And afterwards, we started panicking. All the bad habits from Crystal Palace, all the bad habits from our Premiership games came into play for those 15 minutes after they scored. And then, when we got into the last half an hour, we got in amongst them. We decided to vary our game, but it was a little too late. There was a great chance for Martinelli, that Donnarumma saved. Saka got into the game again, where he put in a nice little cross, but Martinelli couldn't get in the end of it. And then it was one of those things where we go in here at half time and there is a bit of momentum. And then it's a situation where there's a case of everyone getting up. As soon as that the goal was disallowed, that was it. It was kind of game over in terms of mentality. We didn't believe we were going to kind of break them down. Don't get me wrong. Declan Rice did try to get in the game. He made a very, very good, bursting run where he set up Trossard. Trossard's been in good goal scoring form. Can't lie. Normally puts that away. Great save by Donnarumma. But let's talk about the goal that wasn't a goal. First and foremost, I thought we were a bit lucky to get the free kick in the first place. I bet it was given as a yellow card because I think there was no way. I think it was Mendes was ever going to beat Mourinho in the air unless he fouled him. So the referee's given a yellow card. From that situation, the ball goes in the net, but it's all like slow motion. The crowd don't know how to celebrate. PSG have got their arms folded. They're in the referee's face, and then the goal gets given, and then you go up to the centre circle. And then when I saw Fabian Ruiz get the ball and kick it back to Donnarumma, I thought, yeah, game's up here. The referee's going to call offside. And after that, it was a case of the best players on the pitch weren't Arsenal players. The best players on the pitch were PSG players. I thought people are going to talk about Fatiga controlling midfield, but you had to, if you're on the pitch, you'll be very impressed with Fabian Ruiz. Fabian Ruiz cleared everything up, got the ball, passed it to a blue shirt. I thought Hakimi, had Martinelli and other lock and key. I thought Mendes played Saka well. He forced Saka. The only time Saka got in behind him was probably when he had a cross in the first half of his right foot. But the only times Saka got in the game was when he cut inside and try and get in the play and try to force things to happen. Martin Odegaard, I'm afraid, any credit you had is out of
No,
date.
he ain't
Even
got
your
credit.
fans,
Kenny,
even
no,
your
no,
fans.
sorry to cut him. He's got no credit, Kenny. That guy's a scrub.
No. What I'm trying to say is not from me or you. I'm talking about his fans, because his fans, and one guy in particular who's a big Martin Odegaard fan, Dan Potts, was absolutely incandescent with rage with his performance. Or lack of performance, because basically what's happened is that regardless of whether Thomas Partey's playing or not, or whether you've had a good season or not, this is a game that defines players. This is a game that defines your career. And once again, you're a fan missing. You can't have a situation where all heads are down because Thomas Partey is missing. Boo-hoo.
Bro,
it happens.
One pass in half an hour. First half an hour, one pass.
But it got even worse. He was getting knocked off the ball again. And you know the biggest indictment on the fact that Martin Odegaard nearly got a near full game is because our bench.
He got subbed off bang on 90 minutes.
But our bench leaves a lot to be desired, and it's down to the manager. It's first and foremost, it's down to the manager's poor management of players' times and players' fitness, which leads to injuries, and most importantly as well, it's again that we should never have a gap between our subs and the first team. But the reason why I have a gap between our subs and the first team is because there's a lack of trust, plus there's a lack of quality. Look what happened with PSG. Zaire Emery came on, top player, French international. Bakola came on, top player, French international. Mendes came on for as a centre forward when Dembele went off because he went in the right Ramos. Ramos came on. Came on, and basically he led the line. PSG have got levels above us in terms of player quality, playing ability, and options on the bench. And the only thing that PSG are kicking themselves for is that they didn't come away with a 3-0 win, because this is one of the things where PSG we look at this and think, you know what, have we left the door ajar? Because stranger things happen in football, but in terms of what happened 6 years ago when Spurs lost the first leg at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and they went to Amsterdam and somehow got into the final. Now, are we capable of that on this performance? Not at all. But the problem we've got is that we got a double-edged problem. Yes, we bring Thomas Partey back, and yes, we played Mourinho up top. But the situation is, if we go for it from the whistle, we know that PSG for the first half an hour, at least, are going to press us like tigers and try and press us out of the game and force mistakes. So if we do try to force a play, they can get in and behind us and score early. If they score early next week, then you might as well think, right, what channel am I going to watch the Champions League final on? That's going to be your situation. Because
if they score early, you see how them Real Madrid players looked when Declan slapped the second free kick in.
Yeah, that's how we're going to.
That's where we're
we're
halfway there. We're halfway there.
The
first Declan free kick is how we look tonight.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, is
fucking joke, man.
The thing is that football finds you out. You can't keep on winging it. For all season, we've won it in this Champions League, where we're able to overpower teams because of the fact that we have our extra fitness. But against a team that made sacrifices against us, first and foremost, they pressed us in a way Real Madrid were not willing to do. Their players who ran their nuts off, which Real Madrid didn't do, and they put us to the sword when they needed to, which Real Madrid did do. And then when they went to goal up, they worked their nuts off. Let's just face it. We've been found out once again. We were found out last season, i.e. by losing to Aston Villa, where everyone was talking about us being these all-conquering heroes, but our frailties came to the core. Today, our floaters came to the core. Now, this shouldn't be any surprise because we've seen this at least, we've seen this 16 times in the league, 13 draws and 3 defeats. So what PSG did to us today, teams have been doing to us all season in the league. And you can't always play poorly in the league and expect to lift it because it's PSG. Sometimes your bad habits stay with you. And what's happened today is that our bad habits transferred from the Premiership to today. The bad habits of Crystal Palace transferred to today, and we just can't keep on going to that well. You can't keep on playing injured players. Now, Saka works his nuts off, but a fit Saka doesn't perform like that. Simple as. But he has to play 90 minutes because there's no quality on the bench, and because there was no quality bought in the summer market. But they're in live situation. We all celebrate about Real Madrid. Everyone said that they were going to make people's lives hell who are against Mikel Arteta. Well, come next week, what you're going to find is that people are going to be able to evaluate the whole season and be able to sum it up in one thing. Once again, when the going got tough, we can't get going. Once again, when the true winners came to the party, we were still the bridesmaids. And nothing's changed since 2003, really. With that,
don't worry, Cody. 2 semi-finals and second place. We go again.
Well,
he needs his pieces.
No. I think what's happened is that
he's a striker.
There's no more time. If we do not deliver next week, then we've got to draw a line under it and say thanks for your help, Mikel. But right now we've got to go elsewhere.
No, help. He's paid for his help. He's hired help, mate. He's paid.
And that's the thing. But the fact is that Arne Slot has shown you can go to a club, tweak it a little bit, and turn the underachievers who didn't see it through in the league last season into winners by having high standards, saying this is Liverpool Football Club. We don't settle for fourth place, we settle for the trophy. God, I wish we got Arne Slot.
Or Hansi Flick, or Conte. Conte, they're all washed, Kenny. But
Mick Arteta is the Nelly man of English football. He will be so as long as he's at Arsenal Football Club. He may be the Pied Piper at another club, but Mick Arteta, you better turn it around next week, or it's your time's up.
Adio, ciao. We're out.